Fuck, man. Yo, what's good? And all this work we done put in, they putting money over God. Shit. Don't worry about it, man. You're putting God over money. Come on.
I love dogs.
Bossy. J Cactus.
Yo, I teach in the streets cause I want to. I teach in the streets cause I have to. Your pastors don't do it, your teachers don't do it, religion don't do it, we got you. Whether they hear it or whether they don't, at the end of the day, that's their choice. We gotta replenish, where there is no vision, the people will perish with no voice. Peep the game, study the word and ignore the lames. In time you learn to keep the line tamed. Everything is time and mixed in with change. Heathens, they get it the same, putting them all in the chain. The vultures eating their brains, the truth to you looking strange. The message is still the same. Don't care how you feel about me. They taking shots like paparazzi. I'm strong like Samson with the power of David. You could take a chance, I'm all about the action. I hustle but don't mean came. Now say I buy and flip in the trap. Don't fall for a chick who's playing the trick. The pretty face only the trap. Roam in the jungle, gotta use wisdom, so I stay legally strapped. Say what you say, feel what you feel, but there's no emotions and facts. Danger when we alone, so imagine together we're rolling in packs. Heathens is mad, Israel is back, the natives, Hispanics, and blacks. Roam in the jungle, gotta use wisdom, so I stay legally strapped. Say what you say, feel what you feel, but there's no emotions and facts. Danger when we alone, so imagine together we're rolling in packs. Heathens is mad, Israel is back, the natives, Hispanics, and blacks. Enemies feel like they in the maze, cowards learn when they in the grave. I'm reading the times when we were slaves, now I'm looking around like we still those slaves. Without God we won't be saved, now we got the truth so we won't be played. I remember searching, first time I heard it, and even today I'm amazed. Don't lose focus, fulfill your purpose, searching the scriptures daily. Stay on the mission and ready for war against all the sons of perdition. What we do is not an easy job, where you find there's no cracker there to jog. We've been in the streets way before the blogs, we can see the storm way before the fog. Refuting the lies with truth, me and my soldiers and troops, keeping the laws what we do, sticking together like glue. Still be me in the coop, still be me in the hoop. There ain't nothing changed, I still want the best for you. Complete the mission, strapping our boots, soldiers salute, aim and shoot. We riding, we grinding, making sure the family's straight and we good. Standing firm with this walk, to all of the haters, we here for good. Keep feast days in these last days, used to gang bang in my past days. That was either jail or early grave, or praises, I'm still here today. Roam in the jungle, gotta use wisdom, so I stay legally strapped. Say what you say, feel what you feel, but there's no emotions and facts. Danger when we alone, so imagine together we're rolling in packs. Heathens is mad, Israel is back, the natives, Hispanics, and blacks. Israel, we back. They tryna stop us, but they can't. Stay strong and carry on. Kum Yashala. Heathens is mad, Israel is back, the natives, Hispanics, and blacks. Heathens is mad, Israel is back, the natives, Hispanics, and blacks.
Shout out to all my high exalted warriors, man. Rum Gaddaga Bayan. Run. War. They said they got the time, boys, say no more. Look up to the sky for a flaming sword. It's no surprise we who they hating on. Ancient war, break them all, then we praise our Lord. See we them kings, we coming back. Take everything, make it a stack. Ancient of days, painting the map. Trusting the king, holy and black. Twisting their brain, but it's a fact. This is the way, killing the chat. They are Josiah, drill them to ash. You'll see, one day, break down that cocaine. Diablo, jewelry, all day. Propane, follows, coonies, sellouts. you'll reap sorrow. Nigga, they hate these promises. You'll be swallowed. Oh, it's getting scary. Putting their head in the cemetery. By what they feed or you getting buried. Never been sweeter than Ben and Jerry's. Pray to the heavens, I'm military. Child of the east in my city near me. Drinking the grape cause I'm getting weary. Yahweh Ha'abba, the glory glaring. War.
They say they got that time, boy, say no more. Look up to the sky for that flaming sword. They done woke a lion, boy, we Davis boys. Look into our eyes, trust we play with war. Look into our eyes, trust we play with war.
Broke through the chain and I'm running up. Inches of freak, I ain't blunted up. Poured up my heart in the jungle love. The curses of Jake were the mother, bro. Gave me a sword, I was Gideon. Hiding our face, couldn't cover up. It's they day of Oblivion. Y'all see me on main and I'm cutting up. Ain't no gang with your army. Yeah, them generals know me. Never no cream in the coffee. Cherub beaming, we soaring. Blue beaming, we zoning. It's just a thief in the night. And we Ezekiel bright. But didn't we give him a warning? Shemaiah Shatlah. Who them must recall? And be that Ram Gadar. Kodash Ha'abah. Russian Kwambaya. Latazaya Wan. Coming from the heart. Till I join the morning. Don't need opinions, truthfully. Boy, this bigger than you and me. Seek in the book and you'll see that predestined jubilee. In my kingdom of heaven be rooted deep. And I ain't repping it usually. It's in the blood for mutiny. We bringing the weapon and you gon' see war.
They say they got that time, boy, say no more. Look up to the sky for that flaming sword. They done woke a lion, boy, we Davis boys. Look into our eyes, trust we play with war. Look into our eyes, trust we play with war.
Hit it best.
Die once, live twice. Yeah. Hadn't lost all of my love and my sanity. Vanity told me I'm too hard to handle. Dismantle any opposition, quit playing with me. Brothers hella lame, how they get their name? Israelites lacking integrity. Politics made it to Israel, but it's not spiritual. Why can't I let them get next to me? Chef in the kitchen, he cooking, he cooking, he cooking. These niggas trying to steal a recipe. Look at my weaponry, that is my specialty. Lion, a Zion, a Judah, full pedigree. Repping my legacy. If I got a body rappers, then Mac, he gon' be the accessory. Judah the gang, and I'm repping it heavily. Vocals the same, but I got a new melody. I'm from the bottom of Rebel to Greffel Street. Haters, they hate me, they really be repping me. Yeah, they really be repping me. I went to war for some brothers who never had love and they heart or respect for me. Gates told me go where they celebrate it, they don't just tolerate your gifts. Christ told me shake the dust off your feet and take your peace with you when you dip. Made it out of a city where plenty crashed. We never had nothing, we needed cash. Feds gave us Aguilera, we didn't know better, we turned it to Lenny Crab. Should've got yards running from my past, but the Lord made a way when he threw the flag. Beat the case, but I blew the bag, did it bare face, we don't do the mask. Not Protestant, Jesuit, Lutheran, nah, we don't do the mass. I just be watching they movement and how they maneuvering, slithering through the grass. Who gon' pity for the snake charm? Put them in the bag, shake the snake on them. It's never about who your haters, it's always about how much money you making on them. Put your riches in the most high, that's the best flip for the best price. Cash in with your house shy, I'ma die once, I'ma live twice. Balls mean, but my flow nice. Rep 12, not the pole lights. Chef, he the light of the world, I'm trying to keep all of my babies from pole light.
You die once, but you live twice. Please don't get left, you'll have no rights. Me and Chef steam like bowl rice. This be getting 8 like 4 twice. I European, get your soul right. They don't hear me though, like no mic. How they supposed to know, like no advice? Children of the light, like no night.
Got me feeling like Ricky Bobby up in Talladega. I'm on the road, feel like I'm on fire. Holding it down till I see the Messiah. Dripping in gold, you see the attire. Dripping in gold, you see the attire. I say it twice for those I inspire. Make it a third for all of the liars.
Please do not treat this like entertainment, man, I pray you don't. This a cry for your soul. Renew your thinking and rearrange it, man, I pray you do. Cause the kingdoms are gold. They really tricking for little payments, making money moves, but you losing your soul. How y'all be thinking, be aggravating? I'm not smelling that like I'm losing my nose. We gotta represent. Children is watching. We see with the ruach, the spirit is watching. Me and Shabbat the bad, we did the way that we flipping this heat, man. It feel like hibachi. Killing these demons with pain is my doctrine. I'm bobbing and weaving. It feel like I'm boxing. I want the kingdom of heaven, the mysteries that are spoken of in 2nd Colossians.
Yeah. Die once, live twice. Yeah.
I done lost all of my love and my sanity.
Our Hathapalau, the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
He is here. He is here. He is here. There comes a time that you have to learn how to inspire yourself, give hope to yourself, give joy to yourself, speak to yourself, preach to yourself, lay hands on yourself, bless yourself. You got to learn how to encourage yourself in the Lord, your God. Somebody lift your hands and say it.
Jesus is my Easter bunny. 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 Jesus is. Jesus is. Jesus is.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. What's going on, brothers and sisters? Welcome to another edition of the Lines of Israel Sabbath Class. I'm your host, Priest Daniela, representing LOY Maccabees TV. And as usual, I'm joined by the Elder Zahab, also of the Lines of Israel. I want to say peace and blessings to everybody that's watching our content. Shout out to everybody that's watching us on YouTube, of course, on Maccabees TV, as well as our main channel, the Lines of Israel Class. Guys, as always, I
ask you, brothers and sisters, to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. So like you then hit the notification bell so you guys can be notified every time we go live or we upload a video, right? Because YouTube is not in the business of sending out notifications except for their mega content creators that have about 1 million or more subscribers, right? The smaller channels, we have to do our best, and our subscribers have to do their best to proliferate the information. Sorry, my tongue got tied for a second. So make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell. And of course, drop a comment in the comment section and say shalom to your fellow Israelites and so forth and so on. All right, join the conversation. Also, shout out to my brother Nasai for allowing us to broadcast directly into people's homes via Nasai TV. Continued prayers, continued gratitude towards that brother for the many great works that brother's doing. I pray the Most High just keep him strong and keep him doing what he's doing. And when you guys see Nasai around on Facebook or you see him on Clubhouse, make sure you guys just give the brother a word of encouragement and let him know that what he's doing is definitely helpful, and we all appreciate the works that he's doing. All right. And last but not least, my Clubhouse family, shout out to y'all. Make sure you guys share the room. You guys should be pinging people into the room. I don't necessarily do like my brothers. Like I know my brother Yawasai from Rum Gadal. I know my brother Daniela from Tab. These brothers are real strict about the shares, right? In of the room. I'm gonna have to start bringing Danielle. We might have to get that. If Danielle being here on Saturdays in my class, I'm not sure if he's being here or not. But if he is, I might have to bring him to the stage, man, so we can start really getting all y'all on Clubhouse about sharing the room. Share the room, man. Share the room. Ping people into the room. Let them know that we're live. All right. Don't make me bring the enforcers on the stage. I know Sergeant Sakari is already here with me. He got it too. Don't make me get my enforcers to start enforcing stuff, guys. Make sure you guys share the room. As usual, I always tell you guys about whether or not the video is something you need to see today or not, or whether you can just listen. So on a scale of 1 to 10, today's lesson in terms of visibility is a 20. It's a 20 on a scale of 1 to 10. So you really should be watching this if you can. So if you're on Clubhouse, the link is at the top of the room. You guys should click the link and come over to YouTube so you can watch along with the rest of us. But if you are indisposed and you're not able to watch, then you can listen. All right. So there's a lot to get through today. We're going to have a great conversation and we're going to see a lot of things. But before we get started, as always, I'll turn the floor over to the other elder, which is Elder Zahab, to allow him to say a few opening words, and then we will get started. So Zahab, you got the floor.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Barakatah Yahawah, Shema Mashek Yahushai, the water to the family. One quick thing, brothers and sisters, if you have not, please go to our website, thelionsofisrael.com, and subscribe to our website. Yes, you can. You could join our website. We will, in the very near future, we're going to start sending out newsletters, alerts, and very relevant bits of information that the priest might not cover on a Sabbath class. So, it would do well for you to join us. Subscribe to the website. We're also randomly going to be doing giveaways as well, right? We got to help one another, right? I'm not saying we give away $1 million because we ain't got $1 million, but you know what I'm saying? You never know. Our congregation, we are heavy on, I guess you could call us preppers, by trying to prepare as best as we can because we don't know what's going to happen. So if you want to be amongst us, be, just in our network, join the website. We're giving away a lot of information, and information is just as valuable, if not more valuable, than hard-earned cash. Cash is trash. The information is worth more. So again, please, if you have not, go to our website and join our website. That's it, priest.
Kind of want all praise to the Most High. All right, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we about to get started. Hey, Sergeant Zakaria, I'm not looking. I ain't got time to look. But yo, make sure you keep an iron fist on Clubhouse, man, and continue to tell the people that's popping into the room to share the room and ping people in here. All right, we're going to start enforcing that a little bit more. I've been super lenient on that. But yeah, I'm going to have to start bringing the enforcers in to enforce those rules. All right, so with that being said, you was going to say something, Zakaria, or no? Okay, maybe not. All right, so with that being said, brothers and sisters, let's go ahead and let's get started. We have a lot to talk about today. Elder Zahab, of course, I know you like this topic a lot. This is definitely something that you like to talk about a lot. So please feel free, as the Spirit moves you, to chime in, to bring out precepts, whatever the Spirit moves you to do, we're going to do. Right? So, because those of you that are here every week sincerely asked me to do a part 2 for Winter is Here, which I did 2 weeks ago, we're going to do a part 2. Now, the first PowerPoint, Winter is Here, the first one, I did not get all through those slides at all. So maybe there might be a part 3. Y'all let me know at the end. If y'all are enjoying this, y'all let me know at the end, and I'll go back and get those slides, and there'll be a part 3. But I wanted to go a little bit in a different direction. If you guys are looking at the presentation on the screen right now, you guys already know where we're going. Today, we're going to talk about technology, because technology is definitely one of the signs that we can see that prophecies are being fulfilled by the advent of technology and the implementation of technology that is masqueraded in the beginning to be something that's beneficial. And many of us fall into that trap. But as we get to understand the potential of the technology, we realize, no, this is sinister. This is of the devil, right? And this technology is already here. It's already being implemented. And so we have to recognize it for what it is and pray to the Most High every single day to send his son to destroy this place. Because if this technology is implemented and reaches its potential, well, you guys already know the rest. I don't need to say it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started. So let's start off with the book of Daniel, chapter 8. We're going to pick it up from verse number 15. It says, and it came to pass when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision and sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. So when the Most High gave Daniel the vision, the Most High at first did not explain the vision to Daniel. So Daniel began to seek the meaning, because the Most High was speaking to Daniel via this word that we've been talking about for those of y'all that have been following, via anthropomorphism. He was showing him 4 beasts and a great sea and all a goat with four horns and all these different things, a bear that with 3 ribs in its mouth, and all types of visions that we were seeing in Daniel chapter 7, right? We saw a lion with eagle's wings. We saw all these things. And then Daniel's like, well, what the heck is this? And then in the beginning of Daniel chapter 8, he was seeing more things. So he didn't understand what he was looking at. So Daniel began to seek for the meaning, and the Most High gave him the meaning. Let's keep reading. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. So the Most High sent the angel Gabriel. Yes. I'm not sharing. I'm not sharing. That's not good. You know what? You are right. I sure am not. So we're gonna have to start all over. Okay. The water out of one. All right. Let's go back. So this is what we were looking at originally. That's the main screen that I was telling you guys about. If you look at it, you guys could already tell that we're dealing with technology today. So you guys can see that, right? So now let's move forward. Let's start again. This is Daniel chapter 8, verse 15. It says, and it came to pass when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision and sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. So the Most High sent the angel Gabriel, the same angel that Mary saw, that came and prophesied to Mary about the son that she was going to bear. So all these archangels have different functions. Gabriel has a function. Michael has a function. They all have a different function, right? But that's for another time. Verse 17. So he came near where I stood. And when he came, I was afraid and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, O son of man, for at the time of the end shall the vision be. So the angel Gabriel was showing the prophet Daniel a vision for the time of the end. Right? Let's keep going. Now, as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face towards the ground. But he touched me and set me upright. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of indignation, for at the time appointed, the end shall be. So as I always teach brothers and sisters, this is not about looking at the date on the calendar to figure out when the end is going to be. When is the indignation of the Most High going to be set upon the earth in its full force? It's not the date on the calendar. It's for an appointed time. And there will be signs along the way that will point you in the direction that you are getting closer to that appointed time. Verse 20. The ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia. This is what Daniel saw in Daniel chapter 7. And also at the beginning of Daniel chapter 8, he was seeing these animals, but these animals symbolized kingdoms that were going to rise upon the earth. Why is that important? Because as you see these kingdoms rise up on the earth and come into power and then fall, that is those signs that are letting you know where we are in the timeline of prophecy. So Daniel saw the Medes and the Persians rising and falling in his vision. He saw that, right? Let's keep reading. Verse number 21. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia. So right after the Medes and the Persians rule, then you're going to have the goat that was going to rise up. That represented who? The Greeks. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. So the first king of the Greeks is who? Alexander. Everybody knows that history, right? Let's continue. Verse 22. Now, that being broken after Alexander dies, whereas 4 stood up for it, meaning Alexander's 4 primary generals that rose into power after he died, and they were fighting amongst themselves and warring amongst themselves for hundreds of years. 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power, meaning Alexander ruled over a united kingdom of the Greeks. Upon his deathbed, as we know all the time, when we have the Feast of Dedication, we read 1 Maccabees chapter 1. On Alexander's deathbed, he parted his kingdom amongst his 4 generals. Now, that's a consolidation of history because Alexander had more than 4 generals. I've taught this before. I don't know if I've taught this in the Sabbath, but for those of you guys that have taken the academy, I've shown you guys this before. There was a 5th general named Antigonus as well, that Alexander gave part of his kingdom to as well. However, what happened was Antigonus went to war with Seleucus, which is one of Alexander's other generals, and Seleucus defeated Antigonus and absorbed his kingdom. So now it's pared down to 4. I hope I'm not being too complex, but I need you guys to understand these concepts because you have atheists, you have Bible haters, you have people that say that the Bible has failed prophecies and all this. I need for you guys to understand what I'm teaching you. The Bible's not wrong. You just have to know history. That's all. Yes, Alexander had more than 4 generals. Why does the Bible harp on 4 generals? Because when Alexander died, the 5th general, Antigonus, went to war with Seleucus and lost, and Seleucus absorbed his kingdom, and then there were only 4. The Bible just gets right to the point. Hope everybody understands that. Verse 22 again. It says, now, that being broken, meaning after Alexander died, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. Why? Because these 4 generals that were left, they were warring amongst each other. There were 5. And then Antigonus and Seleucus went to war, right? So that's already them fighting right there. Seleucus defeated Antigonus, took over his kingdom. Now there's 4. And then you start reading about the kingdom of the Seleucids and the kingdom of the Ptolemies warring with each other. That's your Daniel chapter 11. So they didn't have the same power or impact that Alexander had. That's what the Bible is telling you, right? Now let's move on. Now, real quick, let's go back. Now, I was showing you guys something about Daniel, and this is not related to today's lesson, but I always like to teach a lesson and a sub-lesson, right? So you have a place right here. This is from the Encyclopedia Britannica called the Kizhi Island. And on the Kizhi Island, there's a place called the Kizhi Monastery. That's it right there. You guys see I took a snapshot from the Encyclopedia Britannica right there. That's the Kizhi Monastery on Kizhi Island. This is in Russia. Let's go down to the, let's read the first paragraph first. It says Kizhi Island. It's an island in Lake Onega, Karelia Republic in northwest Russia. So this is Russia, right? Let's go down to the second paragraph real quick. It says, today the island is best known for its museum site, aka this monastery, of history, architecture, where early wooden barns, houses, windmills, and several churches were collected and restored as part of an open-air museum. So there were several churches that are part of this open-air museum. Priest Daniela, why are you talking about all this? Well, because in this Kizhi Museum, in one of the churches, which is a monastery, you have an icon of the prophet Daniel at the Kizhi Monastery in Russia, painted as a black man. Now, that's not today's lesson, but I just want to show you guys that we got to have lessons and then we have to have sub-lessons. Because people say that we make stuff up. You know, you Israelites make everybody black. No, we don't. We just actually go and do the research. And then, as I always teach, what? Demonstration beats conversation. I could easily say the Israelites are black and Daniel is black and this person is black. No, I'd rather show you. So you have monasteries like this one right here on Kizhi Island, where there are churches and other things that are comprised into a museum, right? It's a museum site. And in the museum, you have black icons of the prophets of the Bible, right? All right. Enough of that. That's for another day, another time. We're not getting into color today. I just want to show you guys that. Let's move on. Now, we read Daniel chapter 8. We read from verses 15 to 22. Now we want to focus on verse number 23. It says, and in the latter time of their kingdom. Now let's go back. Let's go back. Verse number 21. It speaks about the Greeks, right? And after Alexander dies, when they're broken, you have 4 kings that stand up in his place, but they're not as powerful as he was, right? So then when you come to verse number 23, it speaks about in the latter time of their kingdom. So what the commentaries teach is that the latter time of their kingdom is when the Romans came into power. Do you guys see that? I took a screenshot from one of the commentaries that show you that the latter time of their kingdom is talking about when the Romans came into power, right? The problem is, I need especially for you brothers that are teachers to listen to what I'm showing you. If the latter time of their kingdom equates to the Romans, as the commentaries teach us, which has an air of truth to it, I don't deny that. We also understand, pursuant to Bible prophecy, that the Roman Empire would be revived in the form of America. So even if Daniel chapter 8, verse 23 has some connotation within the time that the Greeks fell and the Romans came into power, it also applies to America because America is Rome revived. Does everybody understand that? So the latter times of their kingdom is not just talking about when the Greeks fell and the Romans come into power, but it is also alluding to now. And more so now than back then. As we're going to continue to read, it's going to kind of make reference to that. And I'm showing you brothers that teach this because when you deal and argue with Christians or preterists, they're going to tell you this was already fulfilled. It was not already fulfilled. Yes, it had implications back in the ancient time, but there is a revived Roman Empire that's spoken about in the book of Revelations, chapter 17 and 18. That is America. Hope everybody sees that. So that's talking about Rome then, and it's talking about Rome now. What are we focused on? We're talking about Rome now because we're living now. So in the latter times of their kingdom, which is now, We're going to move on. Let's go to the next slide. Let's look at some comparisons. And I have a whole nother PowerPoint on this in Daniel chapter 2, but we're not getting into that right now. Some similarities to show us that America's Rome all over again. Let's just look at the government structure. You had, in the beginning, when Rome was a republic, before it became an empire, when Rome was a republic, you had two consuls, a senate, and a tribal assembly. America has a president, a senate, and a House of Representatives. It's very, very similar. Now let's deal with this first one, Rome right here. Rome had two consuls all the way up until the time of Julius Caesar. Now I'm just going to tell you guys this history because I don't have time to go into it right now. I'm just going to tell you guys this history without showing it to you in the PowerPoint because I don't want to deviate. So right before Rome became an empire, you had the Imperial Roman Empire, you had Rome was a republic. So they had two consuls. So the way it worked is you had Crassus. Crassus was the money guy. I've gone over this before. For those of you guys that follow week in and week out, you guys should remember me saying this before. You had Crassus. Crassus was the money guy, right? You had Pompey. Pompey was the general. He was the warrior. And you had Julius Caesar. He was the politician. So really, you had three people ruling. Then Crassus died. So that you were left with Pompey and Julius Caesar. And then Pompey was killed in Egypt, and then you had Julius Caesar. So Julius Caesar became the first emperor of Rome. That's why the Roman emperors are called Caesars after Caesar, because he became the supreme ruler. And after him, you only had one man. Before him, you had two. That's in your Apocrypha. That's in your Apocrypha. I believe it's 1 Maccabees chapter 7. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Let's see if it's chapter 7 and chapter 8. Y'all can put that in the chat. I'm not going to go look for it right now. It's either in 1 Maccabees chapter 7 or 8. The Bible is right. And then afterwards, when Pompey was killed, Julius Caesar became the sole guy. So now he becomes equated to what you call your president today. And they had a Senate. And you had a tribal assembly today we call it the House of Representatives. Your consuls were elected by the Senate, and they served as a check to power. Our presidents are elected by the people. They serve 1 4-year term and can choose to serve another term, right? Your consuls served 1 term. They commanded the army and supervised the government the same as your president, so forth and so on. You guys could see even the way that the Roman Senate was designed. Look at this right down here. Is the same way that your American Senate is designed today, right down to the fasces on the wall. I've shown you guys this stuff before. I really don't want to get too deep into it right now. What I'm trying to show you is that, yes, you can say to a degree that Daniel chapter 8 is talking about back then, after the Greeks fell and the Romans came into power, but America's Rome revived. So we're focusing on the portion that applies to us now. The prophecy is twofold. Let's move on. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to a full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. That king of fierce countenance today is America. Understanding dark sentences. What is that talking about? Let's go back for 1 second. I'm going to show you guys something. You know what? No, I'm going to stay right here. Stay right here. Let's come down to this paragraph right here. It says, on the other hand, when we bear in mind that here we have the language of symbol and prophecy, we have the language of symbol and prophecy. So what is dark sentences? Dark sentences goes into symbolism and prophecy. The powers that be that run the society, they understand symbolism and they understand prophecy to a degree. Not to the degree that we understand it, because the Most High deals with us in the spirit. We're moved by the spirit. But there's also an exoteric, meaning an overt understanding of prophecy that anybody could understand, because prophecy is nothing but history. When you look at the book of Daniel chapter 7, it speaks about the 4 beasts That is a literal history that you can go in and read about in your history books. About Alexander and the four that came after him. You can read about that in history books. That is very obvious. So there's an exoteric or an obvious understanding of prophecy that these powers, they understand that. There's also an esoteric or a hidden element of prophecy that they don't understand, but the Most High is only dealing with us with when it comes to that. But they understand prophecy. So when they're seeing the Israelites starting to wake up, when they're seeing those dry bones starting to come together and stand on their feet, they understand that's prophecy, and we got to put a stop to that somehow, some way. They understand prophecy. On the other hand, when we bear in mind that here we have the language of symbol and prophecy, so tricks of strategy and chicane of policy may all be symbolized by dark sayings without necessarily referring to sentences, right? So let's move on. I'm going to show you guys something. When the Most High speaks about them understanding dark sentences, that's the same as them understanding dark sayings. What are dark sayings? Let's go to the book of Psalm chapter 78. Let's start from verse 1. It says, "Give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old." So the truth of the Most High, things that are going to happen, so forth and so on, are all presented to us in the form of literary devices that we call parables and we call dark sayings, or as Daniel calls them, dark sentences. The white man understands some of these things. He doesn't understand it on a level we do, on a spiritual level, but he understands that certain things, and he understands what he is seeing when he sees Israel rising up. I need y'all to understand that. Verse 2 again. "I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us," right? Because our forefathers told us of these prophecies. That's why Job 8:8 tells us to inquire of the former things. Every time we open the Bible and we read these prophecies, we're inquiring of the former things. We want to know what was said before, so we can recognize what is right in front of us. And does it line up? Verse 5. "We will not hide them from their children." So the prophecies, the dark sayings, the parables are not hidden from the Most High's children, which is us. Now, not all Israel understands these things, but God's elect understands these things. "Showing to the generations to come the praises of the Lord and his strength," because we're going to see the strength of the Most High, because everything that we're about to see going forward in this lesson, the so-called white man has a web of deceit and evil woven to destroy us. And it's going to take the Most High sending his son and the mighty angels to come and destroy this thing, because there's no other way. There's no other way. And it is so advanced and deep into this web that the only way that we could get out of it is with the Most High and the Son. So if you don't believe in the Bible, you don't believe in the Most High and the Son, you just might as well wave the white flag now, because we're already in it. That's what today's lesson is about. Winter is here, part 2. It's already here. We're just sounding the alarm to let our people know it's already here. But we also letting people know that Yahweh is going to destroy it. That's our hope. "We will not hide them from their children, showing to the generations to come the praises of the Lord and his strength and his wonderful works that he hath done." Because it's going to be a wonderful thing to witness for those that endure to the end, to witness Yahweh taking this wicked society down. It's going to be a beautiful thing. It speaks about that in the book of Sirach, about a man that lives to see the fall of his enemies. That's a glorious thing. It's the book of Proverbs chapter 1. "The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instructions of wisdom," which our people don't want to receive, which is the law, and justice, which is in the law, and judgment, which is in the law, and equity, which is in the law, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. Knowledge and discretion is in the law. Verse 5, a wise man will hear. Who's going to be deemed wise amongst us? The elect. The majority of our people are never going to hear this. They don't want to hear this. The book of Isaiah tells us that our people are comfortable in hell. With hell, they are at agreement. They don't want to hear this. A wise man will hear and will increase learning. So when you hear this and the seed takes root in your spirit, you begin to want to increase learning. Now you want to know more about this truth. That's why the book of Psalms chapter 1 says, a righteous man meditateth in the Lord what? Day and night. When you meditate in the Most High's laws day and night, what happens? You increase learning. You're always trying to figure out more and more and understand more and more when it comes to the Most High. And a man of understanding shall attain to wise counsels. Where are wise counsels found? In the Bible, first and foremost. And then the Most High will set up leadership that will speak the words of the Bible, not their own opinion, not how they feel. They'll speak the words of the Bible, and that's wise counsel as well. And a wise man will attain to that. Verse 6, to understand a proverb. Because within Proverbs, there's wisdom, not just the Proverbs of the Bible, but sometimes you just have Proverbs that the old folks used to say, your great-grandparents, your grandparents, your parents, they would just have these sayings, right? And it just sounds like something real simple. When you really meditate on what they're saying, it goes deep and it makes a lot of sense. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings meaning sayings that are hidden. It sounds like you're saying one thing, but it goes a lot deeper than what you can obviously just perceive the first time that you hear it. You have to go and meditate on that. That's the Bible. That's prophecy. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. From verse 1 to verse 6, a fool despises all those things, which are people that don't believe in the Bible. Going back to Daniel chapter 8, verse 23, what I'm trying to show you guys is there is an understanding in this day and time by those powers that be that rule a society of certain prophecies that would indicate that their kingdom is about to come to an end. And they're seeing it. And so they're setting things up in place that they think in their corrupt, evil minds is going to counteract or overthrow prophecy, and it's not. What we need to do is we need to recognize what these things are and understand them for what they are and not be afraid of them, because these things have to take place in order for the Most High to be right, in order for the Bible to be true, and then the Most High will send his son when these things happen and deliver Israel. The outcome is already decided. Let's move on to the next slide. All right, so now let's get down into it. I have a question for you, brothers and sisters. How many brothers and sisters are familiar with a term called big data? Have you guys ever heard of that term before? Maybe you have, maybe you have not. So we're going to go back about 8 years, because these things that are in place now are things that have been being planned for a long time. Decades they've been planning these things. They sit down in these think tanks and they come up with all types of evil ideas that they can implement to try to subvert prophecy. So what is big data? This is a video from 2016. And we're going to see that between 2016 and now, the things that they were saying were going to happen are already here. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind, so I keep harping on this. This video is from 2016 when these ideas were being implemented, but they were in their infancy. Now, 8 years later, these things are way more advanced. Listen.
The time of spreadsheets is over. A Google search, a passport scan, a barcode reading in a supermarket, your online shopping history, an EKG reading, CCTV footage, a photo of a sandwich, a voice message, a tweet. All of these contain data that can be collected, analyzed, and monetized. Supercomputers and algorithms allow us to make sense of increasingly larger amounts of information in real time. In less than 10 years, CPUs are expected to reach the processing power of the human brain.
So this was 8 years ago. I want you guys to look at that. 8 years ago, they said in less than 10 years, CPUs are expected to reach the processing power of the human brain. Fast forward to 10 years later, brothers and sisters, and what do we have today that's being proliferated on a high level? Artificial intelligence. It's already here. It's already here.
A survey done by the Global Agenda Council on the future of software in society.
Let's stop there. That's what I was telling you guys about these think tanks. No, you've never heard of this. You weren't supposed to hear of this group. You weren't supposed to hear about it. The Global Agenda Council of the Future of Software in Society. That seems pretty tame, right? But it's not. This technology that they're creating it to utilize it against the people in hopes of subverting prophecy. That's what they're doing. Esau don't want to let go of his power. So he's not going down without a fight. Let's continue.
Shows that people expect artificial intelligence machines to be part of a company's board of directors.
Did you guys hear that? That was 8 years ago, almost 10 years ago. He said within 10 years, which is not fully 10 years. I don't know when this video was loaded to YouTube in 2016. So it might even be older than that. But what I'm showing you guys is within a matter of the 8 years this has been on YouTube, we're already here with the AI machines. We're already here. But when this information was being spoken about back then, people thought people were crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. Well, now it's here. Let's keep going.
Hold on, please.
There is a good chance that in 15 years...
Salaki, I didn't hear you. Go ahead, bro.
Did it say that AI is going to sit on the board of directors? Is that what it said?
That's what it said. Now, depending on... Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, depending on when this video was actually made, it was posted in 2016. So they said within 10 years. So maybe 2 years from now, AI will be sitting on board of directors.
Huh.
That'll be 10 years in 2 years.
So when you see men in front of companies like Elon Musk or what's that dude from Apple? When you see them, Tim Cook, I think. When you see them people in front of the company talking smack or just talking, they're not the ones really running the companies. It's the board of directors, because the board of directors really got to give the green light for whatever they want to do. And you got AI sitting on the board. So these companies are going to be run by computers and artificial intelligence. That's what you're telling me.
That's what they're saying. That's the goal. And we know all the pitfalls of that. There's a lot of pitfalls, and as we all know, we could sit here for the next 10 hours and talk about that. That is not good for people whatsoever.
That's crazy. You know, real quick, as a side note, you know, the people program artificial intelligence, they also program their preconceived biases too.
That's
what do I mean by that? When I saw a video when they were when they created the driverless cars, did you know that they was having issues because the cameras wouldn't recognize black people and these cars would run people over?
I heard about that. Yeah.
Black people. So
I gotta put that in part 3, man, but go ahead.
Yeah, so whoever's programming these machines, and more than likely some towelhead Elam or whatever, other nations, let's just call them heathens, right? They're programming their preconceived biases and hatred against us into those machines. So when they run their algorithms or whatnot, trust me, it's not going to be good for us.
So Zab, you think are you implying that in the future it's going to affect us in ways like financially with banks, with loans for houses and all that stuff? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, King. Because who typed the algorithm? Now, Sergeant Zakaria, he's more tech savvy than me, and he could tell you when you make a bot, right? You could make a bot for anything. A bot is just an automated program that does whatever you want it to do. Now, who's to say that the person creating the bot or the algorithm is not a racist POS? And he could say, well, you know what? Well, I'm making an algorithm for all the people who live on the south side of Chicago. All you banks, check this out. Don't give none of them no loans because their credit score is too low, or this, that, the third, or whatever the case may be, or resources. Is what I'm saying? So the rabbit hole could get deep, but I don't want to.
We're gonna continue. We're gonna continue, but I'm gonna say this right. And the beauty in it, when I say beauty, I mean it's evil. The beauty in it is the person at the bank that you're actually dealing with, the live person. They're gonna be able to throw their hands up and be like, "It's not me. It's the algorithm. It's not me. It's the AI. It said not to give you the loan. It's not me. If it was up to me, I'd give you the loan." Yeah. All right. Crazy. All right. Let's go.
By 2016, there is a good chance that in 15 years, your job is going to be performed by computers.
That's already happening. That's already happening. Let's go.
Since decisions once based on experience and intuition will be made through machine analysis of massive amounts of data. Think about a vehicle that is able to read its environment and react accordingly, much like a human driver, but also analyzing other sources of information that will make the trip safer.
That's what Zahav went into when they had the driverless car. That's what he went into. They programmed it so it didn't recognize black people. Let's go.
Faster and more efficient. Analyzing vast amounts of medical data from different locations and demographics will allow to determine which conditions improve the effectiveness of certain treatments and which don't. Big data analysis will reveal patterns and connections that will vastly improve most human activities. But it will also create very detailed profiles for all of us, including information that we'd rather keep private.
There it is. There it is. Let's listen to that again. Let's listen to that again.
Create very detailed profiles for all of us, including information that we'd rather keep private. Will big data make privacy obsolete, or will it bring transparency, accountability, and progress?
That's a great question. That's a great question. Let's move on.
The type.
So, let's talk about this really quickly. What you guys are looking at on your screen is a chart from one of the companies that keeps statistics. They do statistics, right? So this is from a company called Statista, right? And I took a screenshot of the country with the most firearms in civilian hands. Now you might say to yourself, what does this have to do with what we're talking about? A lot. So as you guys can see statistically, the United States has 393 approximately million people or million handguns, right? As of, I don't know when this is, as of 2017. So now we're talking about what 7 years ago. Yeah, 7 years ago. The United States has 393 million handguns in arms in the hands of its civilians. The next closest country is India with 71 million. So the United States has more than 300 million more guns in the hands of its civilians than the next closest country, which is India, right? And almost 350 million more than the next closest person after that, which is China. The United States has the largest standing army of civilians in the world. I'm going over this with you guys for a reason. You might say, why is this important? Well, let's listen to this lady who might be your next president. We don't know. Let's listen to what she has to say. Listen.
It is time for Congress to act and stop with the false choices. This is not about getting rid of the Second Amendment. It's simply about saying we need reasonable gun safety laws. There is no reason why we have assault weapons on the streets of a civil society. They are weapons of war. They are designed to kill a lot of people quickly. Let us all agree that we need background checks. But the point here is Congress needs to act. And on the House side, they did. There are two bills which the president is prepared to sign. And so we need the Senate to act. And this is going to be about your viewers and all of us pleading to the reason, pleading to the hearts and minds of the people in the United States Senate to say enough with the partisanship, enough with the ideological perspective on this. Let's just be practical and agree. People who have been found to be a danger to themselves and others should not be able to purchase a gun.
So some of you are saying, well, what she's saying is reasonable. I don't have a problem with that. That doesn't sound bad, right? Because they're using a lot of these, which I believe, in my personal opinion, a lot of these manufactured mass shootings that are going on, they're using it to push forward gun reform laws. Because as we can see from the statistics right there, because the United States is, let's just use a round number, has 300 million more guns than the next nearest developed country in the world. Now you might say to yourself, why is that important? Well, here's why that is important. Because the things that they're going to implement, listen very carefully to what I'm telling you. The things that they're going to implement and that are already implemented in process right now that most people aren't aware of the sinister intentions, when people are finally aware of it, what are they going to want to do? They're going to want to rebel. But you can't rebel if the government is armed and you're not. You stuck. You're stuck. So I have a hyperlink to an article right here because history simply repeats itself. Those that don't know history are what bound to repeat it. So let's go back and let's look at what happened when the Nazis instituted gun control. So we're going to leave this right here for a second, and we're going to come over to good old Google, and we're going to read this article right here. So this is from an article from a website called the National Review, okay? It says how the Nazis used gun control. This is from an article from December 2nd, 2013. It says the Weimar Republic's well-intentioned gun registry became a tool for evil. So it sounds good. Like what she was talking about sounds good, especially when we see a mass shooting like what happened earlier this week. It sounds good. It sounds well-intentioned, but there's sinister intent as well, because for the most part, most people that own guns are not violent. You have to go through a background check. You have all types of checks. So they're not violent. They don't commit crime or nothing, but they want to get rid of it because they understand what they're implementing. When people really realize what's going on, they're going to want to rebel and they're not going to be able to. It says the perennial gun control debate in America did not begin here. The same arguments for and against were made in the 1920s in the chaos of Germany's Weimar Republic, which opted for gun registration. Law-abiding citizens complied with the law, right? So back then, people was like, okay, what they're saying makes sense. It's like what people think what Kamala's saying makes sense. Yeah. Law-abiding citizens, law-abiding persons comply with the law, but the communists and Nazis committing acts of political violence did not. They didn't keep their word. Let's keep reading. In 1931, Weimar authorities discovered plans for a Nazi takeover. Sorry for all these ads, but because you want to read this stupid article, they keep giving us these stupid ads. Sorry about that. It says in 1931, Weimar authorities discovered plans for a Nazi takeover in which small hats would be denied food and persons refusing to surrender their guns within 24 hours would be executed. They were written by Werner Best, a future Gestapo official. In reaction to such threats, the government authorized the registration of all firearms and the confiscation thereof if required for public safety. Is that not what she just spoke about, public safety? Is it not the same words? These people are nothing. It's the same people ruling today, same powers, because they're using the same language. They just got a smiling face. And they put forward this female in front of you that they say is African-American, black, and she's using the same language that Nazis used. The Interior Minister warned that the records must not fall into the hands of any extremist groups. That's the thing that they use to scare people. Oh, these extremist groups like the Black Israelites. Let's keep reading. In 1933, the ultimate extremist group led by Adolf Hitler seized power and used the records to identify, disarm, and attack political opponents and small hats. So anybody that's against what they're going to implement, what they want to implement, they don't want you to be able to fight against it. So this stuff starts off with these quote unquote gun law reform. And so what they do is, for those that can receive it, they manufacture a lot of these things that you see, these mass shootings. And now they have they get the people in an uproar and a panic, and now they get to introduce these legislations that you think are good things, but they're not. They're not. It says constitutional rights were suspended, mass searches, and for seizures of guns and dissident publications ensued. So if you had publications that were against what they were doing, they pursued them. If you spoke against what they were doing, the same thing is going to happen in our day and time. And it all starts with these gun laws that they want to implement, because they understand, let's come back to the PowerPoint, they understand that if they try to bring in the things that they're trying to bring in and allow this statistic to stand as it is, they have a problem. Now let's look at the Bible. 2 Ezra chapter 15, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one person shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. We know what the modern day sword is, right? Everybody knows that. For there shall be seditions amongst men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes. In the course of their actions shall stand in their powers. And a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's a lot. That's very wordy. Let's look at that a little closer. It says, for there shall be sedition amongst men. What is seditions? Incitement of resistance to or insurrection against lawful authority. The lawful authority would be your government, that's going to implement all these things that will seem at first to be very beneficial, but ultimately they have ulterior hidden motives and agendas within these new technologies that they're introducing. And at some point or another, people are going to start waking up to it. We're already awoken to it, but I'm talking about on a mass level. People are going to wake up to it, and they're going to do what? They're going to resist. The Bible already tells you that. They shall not regard king nor priest, because who implements these laws? Rulers. So they're going to realize that these rulers are doing them dirty, and so there's going to be seditions or resistance to these laws that are being passed. That's why they're trying to implement these quote-unquote gun laws. We're going to leave that there. Let's move on. Now, we're going to learn more vocabulary today. What does the word dystopian mean? How many of you guys ever heard of the word dystopian before? If you heard of the word dystopian before, be honest. Put 1 in the chat. If you guys have never heard the word dystopian before, then put 2 in the chat. But it matters, though, because it's a real thing.
Shameless plug. I got a short film, a dystopian movie called Karagma. It's on the website. Shameless plug.
That's right. I should have actually put the trailer in here. You know what I'm saying? You know what? What time is it? Because we can play it real quick. Okay, so let's look at this definition for dystopian. What is dystopian? So the word dystopian means of or relating to or being an imagined world society in which people lead dehumanized lives. So it's supposed to be imagined. It's a figment of our imagination. It's not real. You're a conspiracy theorist. It's not real. That's what the word dystopian means. It's kind of like an insult when you talk about dystopian things and things that people can't really imagine are real. Meanwhile, these things that are being described as dystopian things that dehumanize people are already here. That's the thing. So now what we're going to do real quick is see if we can find it on YouTube. Let's open up a new tab on YouTube real quick. Shameless plug for our elder Zahab, who made a film about this. He put a lot of money into this. Shame on you, brothers and sisters, that did not see this film that Elder Zahab put together. Right? Shame on y'all. Your YouTube channel is Maroon Warrior Films, or what is it? Maroon Warrior. Zob, you there?
Con of the one.
I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. All right, family, pay attention.
That's the doc. That's the document trailer.
Okay, here's the trailer right here. So, guys, pay attention. So, this is some of you guys don't know about this. Ella Zahab did a movie called Karagma, and it's a dystopian film that's showing you real life things that are happening right now that they try to make seem like it's a conspiracy. Let's go.
Volume, King. Was the volume playing, Priest?
You couldn't hear it? Zob, you couldn't hear it?
Nah, not me. Maybe.
Okay, let me stop sharing for a second. You know what? I played it off YouTube. Let me stop sharing for a second. Let's go back. I know what I did wrong. Oh, so yeah. Let's do it this way. Give me 1 second, y'all. We build, like we teach, we build it while we fly. Is that what we say? We build it while we fly. So we're gonna build it while we fly. But again, real quick, because we got time a little bit today. We got another hour. So we're gonna get to the good stuff in a minute. For those of you brothers and sisters that don't know, Ella Zahab put together a film called Karagma. It's a short film. Also a documentary is coming as well on the same subject. And it's about these events that are taking place right before our eyes that people said years ago were conspiracies. Real quick, let me just bring it into the PowerPoint. So that way, let me see, what did I call it? Karagma, okay.
Hey, if you haven't seen it, you could go to our website, thelionsofisrael.com. It's on the website also, and hit the tab that says movies. You can watch it for free.
So I'm about to bring it in real quick and show it to you guys. Sorry about that. But you know, it is what it is. Okay. There we go. All right, see? Bang. There you go. Isn't that right? Build it while you fly, baby. Let me share my screen. Let's go. Let me share my screen again real quick, and we right back at it. Screen, boom. All right. So here we are. We're going to pick it up from where we left off. We're going to show, let's go back one slide real quick. So we're talking about dystopian events, right? Of or relating to or being an imagined world or society in which people lead dehumanized lives, fearful lives, dehumanized, fearful lives. This is from a film that Ella Zahab put together. You'll see a lot of faces in this film that you guys recognize. If you haven't seen it, go to our camp website, thelionsofisrael.com. The film is on the website for free. Let's go.
I feel like I'm hurting myself.
You and I both know you weren't discharged. That was a cover.
All they require is just a small sacrifice.
I'm gonna free, I'm gonna die anyway.
Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? I see.
So yes, brothers and sisters, we actually put this in a form where our people that are not in the truth can accept it. We made a film. So what I do want to say, and this is a shameless plug, man, make sure you guys go. Let's go back just a little bit right here to the end. Let's go back a little bit more. Right there. The brother has a website, Karagma the movie. If you guys haven't, go support the brother, man. So because we want to do more films. We want to do more, right? We're not even gonna talk about the fact that people said you did a great job acting in the film, Priest. No, I didn't. It was hot. We done did like 500 takes. I was mad. I was tired. And that's why it came out good. But that's neither here nor there. But support the brother, man. The brother has a passion for making films, right? So we want to actually bring these images to our people so they can see it for real. But I don't want to get too bogged off on that right now. Let's move on. All right. Let's move on now. So this is from a commercial from IBM. Does everybody know who IBM is? IBM is International Business Machines. This is one of your first big tech companies going back to the 80s. Some of you guys may be not old enough to remember, but for all your big tech companies now, IBM was one of the first. So they made a commercial in 2006, and they are prophesying in the commercial about some of these dystopian things, meaning things where people live fearful lives that are going to be implemented that people say are not real. Let's go back to 2006, which is about what? That's I want to say it's 20 years ago, 16, 20. No, it's 18 years ago. They prophesied about this 18 years ago in this commercial. Pay attention. Let me put the volume all the way up so you guys can hear it. I want you guys to understand what you're seeing because it's kind of a little bit, crazy video. The dude is in a supermarket, right? So it looks like he's stealing stuff, right? Let's watch now. Now you understand what's happening. Let's go.
Excuse me, sir. Forgot your receipt.
Did y'all catch that? He walks out the store. He never checked out. He never checked out. Let's watch. That's the checkout. That's your checkout. That's it.
Excuse me, sir. Forgot your receipt.
Checkout lines. Who needs them?
Have a nice day.
All right. So that's supposed to be fake, right? But that's real. This video is 18 years old. These technologies now exist and are running all over the world. We're going to start at 110 on this video real quick. 1 minute and 10 seconds. 1 minute and 10 seconds. Let's go. For the sake of time, I'm going to skip this because that video is kind of long. All right. I'm going to skip that for now for the sake of time because there's a lot to get through. What I want you guys to understand is that these technologies already exist. China is a perfect testing ground for these new technologies. That's why a lot of things always start off in China. Your scamdemic, your plandemic started in China. A lot of things start in China. Well, these new systems that they're planning on implementing worldwide, a lot of times China is the perfect testing ground because the population over there is in complete subjection. And as I showed you guys before, they're not armed to resist the way that we are here in America. So they're able to implement these things, and the people are helpless to fight against it. Let's go to the next slide. Look at this. This seems harmless, right? This is pretty harmless. Let's go.
So guys, the technologies are everywhere. So let's get some water with this machine. For example, we get some, what would you like to drink? Let's get some water. You press this one. No phone, no cash required. Simply press, scan your face and get your bottle.
So listen, I want you guys to pay attention. Right now, a lot of us, I say us, especially the younger folks that's listening, You don't walk around with a wallet anymore. You're not using cash. And many of the young people are not even using credit or debit cards either. What are they using, guys? They're using Apple Pay, Google Pay, right? You guys see the young people using that stuff, right? Well, in China, they're past that. That's old technology. That's why she says, you don't even need your cell phone. You don't need cash. You don't need a card. You don't need your cell phone. No, you don't need none of that stuff.
For example, we get some, what would you like to drink? Let's get some water simply. You press this one. No phone, no cash required. Simply press, scan your face and get your bottle of water.
请面向屏幕。
It's coming! Thank you! That's so convenient. The first time I see such a machine without any devices to pay. Wow.
So facial recognition to buy something to drink.
Wait a minute.
Right? Reese, that's great. I'm gonna walk around with my pocketbook and my wallet. That is great. Go ahead, Zab.
In my Kevin Hart voice. Wait a minute. So where the money coming from, brother? I'm just asking for a friend. Where the money coming from?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want to ask, brother.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the next slide. I want you guys to understand it's not harmless at all. So let's listen to somebody else from China explaining to you how this stuff works. This stuff is not, I said harmless. What the hell is going on with my spelling? Yeah, Slovakia. Anyway, let's listen to somebody else from China explaining to you exactly what's really going on, because that seemed harmless. That was, some of y'all sisters probably thought that was cute. I ain't got to walk around with this big pocketbook no more. I know you sisters don't be wanting to walk around with those big purses no more. Now, no, just let the machine scan your face, right? Okay, listen.
Already have facial recognition cameras there. So if you jaywalked in Shenzhen, they would immediately detect that and send you a notification, and they would deduct money from your what they call WeChat account.
So did you guys catch that? Because he's talking fast. In China, you have something called a WeChat account. That's where your money is. And everything around you is linked into that WeChat account and the facial recognition. So yes, when you go to the machine to buy a water or a soda, whatever like that, that comes out of your WeChat account. That's the harmless part. But if you jaywalk, that also comes out of your WeChat account. Hey, all you brothers and sisters that get traffic tickets that don't pay them, you don't go to court, you're like, I'm not showing up, I'm not paying that. That's out. You ain't seeing no judge. You don't have a court date, none of that stuff. Yo, the machine, the system takes the money out of your account. You guilty. That's it. You have no say. You have no day in court. That's over. That's the sinister side to it. When the people realize that they're in this, they're going to rebel. That's why they're trying to disarm the people. It's going to be too late, though. And this system is what? Already here. It's already here. I stopped it because this dude is talking super fast, but pay attention.
Already have facial recognition cameras there. So if you jaywalked in Shenzhen, they would immediately detect that and send you a notification, and they would deduct money from your what they call WeChat account. They use two main apps, WeChat and Alipay. So you can actually deduct your money directly from your account. This is 4 years ago, so this is not like some sort of conspiracy theory. It's not something that's going to happen 10 years into the future.
It's not dystopian. It's not some fake idea of dehumanization. It already exists.
This happened pre-corona in China. And so this system in China that exists is extremely advanced. They can detect if it's a man or a woman. They can guess your age. They can detect what kind of car model it is, who the manufacturer is. This is a sort of technology that we see in all these dystopian sort of films and whatever. And people keep putting it off and thinking that
it's in the films, meaning that they're warning you, listen carefully. I know I'm stopping it a lot. It's in the films because they always tell you in the movies first. Why? Because you're going to look at it as entertainment. That was great, but that could never happen. That's just movies. But they always tell you first. What I'm going to show you is what they tell you in the movies is what's here. When they tell you about it in the movies, it's what they're trying to perfect. but it's here now.
The manufacturer is. This is a sort of technology that we see in all these dystopian sort of films and whatever, and people keep putting it off and thinking that this is something that's going to happen later in my kids' lifetime or my grandkids. It's already here. And if this gets implemented,
What do you say? That's my title of my video. It's what?
My grandkids. It's already here.
Mhm.
And if this gets implemented anywhere, especially in a Western nation, it's not going away. Israel is already talking about the 4th shot. Then they're going to be going to herpes.
Israel is talking about what? 4th shot. That means that there's another pandemic coming. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Israel is already talking about the 4th shot. Then they're going to be going to herpes, and they're going to ask if you're gay. They're going to be asking if you ate 3 pizzas this week because it's unhealthy. If you buy certain books in certain countries, your country doesn't like you, you'll lose points in the social credit score system. So this is already the reality.
If you read certain books your country doesn't like the Bible, your social credit score will go down.
Of the world in certain places, and we need to be aware of that if we don't want that or if we do. And to be perfectly honest, anybody who wants his passport, it's a misnomer. It's total control. Everything you do or don't do will be calculated. To the point where if they can detect your GPS signal, if you have a phone on you, they can detect who you're hanging out with. Oh, you're hanging out with somebody that said something bad 9 years ago on Weibo, okay, like a Chinese equivalent to Facebook or something like that, right? Oh, you lose 2 points. Oh, you bought Japanese.
Does everybody see what's happening? This stuff is not harmless. Just understand that. Let's move on. Okay, well, people are like, that's China. China's communist. That's China. No. This stuff is taking place in so-called democratic countries as well, democracies as well. Let's look at Australia. Australia had some of the strictest scamdemic, plandemic laws and enforcement in the world when that was going on. I don't know if you guys know that. But let's look at Australia, another test ground for what's coming. Look.
The government here says it is trying to purify society by rewarding those who are trustworthy and punishing those who are not. So like the credit score that most Americans get for how they handle their finances.
Now, this is not about Australia. We're going to get to that in a minute. Sorry, I got the wrong slide here, but we're just going to continue. Let's go.
Chinese citizens are now getting social credit scores based on everything from whether they pay their taxes on time to how they cross the street. When Leo Hu recently tried to book a flight, he was told he was banned from flying
if you go, you can be banned from flying because of your social credit score.
Because he's on the list of untrustworthy people. Leo was a journalist who was ordered by a court to apologize for a series of tweets he wrote and was then told his apology was insincere.
And that's all he could do was apologize, because what do? They disarm the citizens. You can't rebel. You have to apologize. And after you apologize, they say that's not good enough. You finished. You still can't fly.
I can't buy property. My child
He can't buy property.
Go to private school.
His child can't go to private school.
He says, you feel you're being controlled by the list all the time. And the list is now getting longer, as every Chinese citizen is being assigned a social credit score, a fluctuating rating based on a range of behaviors. It's believed that community service and buying Chinese-made products can raise your score. Fraud, tax evasion, and smoking in non-smoking areas can drop it.
So again, a lot of people, this is not us as Israelites, but people that commit, let's say, fraud, people that commit tax evasion, those of our people that smoke cigarettes and stuff like that, when the system is implemented and they start taking points off your score and you can't do certain things, a lot of our people are going to wake up and be like, oh, hell no, but you already in it. It's too late. And they're trying to take your gun, so you can't do nothing about it. Right? Let's move on.
Government here says that
now we're dealing with Australia. Let's go. I'm going to have to fix that slide in a minute, but we'll do that later. Let's go.
Third reading, the bill for an act to provide for the accreditation of entities in relation to digital IDs and to establish the Australian government digital ID system.
So Australia is now coming up with a digital ID system similar to what China has. Listen.
And for related purposes.
Now, what I want you guys, the reason why I'm playing this video, I need for you guys to pay attention. I want you guys to pay attention to when they vote. Like they don't even count the votes. This is how you know it's fake. When I say fake, meaning they're just implementing the stuff. They don't give a damn about votes. Okay, they're implementing the stuff. Watch what happens when the vote comes. He doesn't count the votes or nothing. He just says it's passed. That's it. Pay attention. Listen.
I have to report that the Digital ID Transitional and Consequential Provisions Bill 2023 has been fully considered by the Federation Chamber and has been agreed to without amendment. I present a certified copy of the bill. The question is that the bill be agreed to. I'll put the question. Those opinions say aye, against no. I think the ayes have it.
Wait, did y'all catch that? Go back. Did he count it? Did you guys hear him count it? He said, let's say aye. A couple of voices said aye. He said, say nay. You heard one or two voices say nay. He said, the ayes have it. Didn't even count it. Thought we wasn't going to catch it, but we caught it. Listen, listen.
Those opinions say aye, against no. I think the ayes have it. Those about division required.
And that's it. And it's passed. They didn't count nothing. They just pushed it. That's it. Let's go to the next slide.
A radical plan to crack down on social media abuse is being considered by the federal government. For more, Nine's Oliver Haig joins us live in Adelaide. Ollie, how will it work?
Layla, good morning. Essentially, it will work the same as a passport. Australians forced to submit 100 points of identification, like their driver's license or passport, when using social media accounts.
Ooh, that went over some of y'all heads. Remember what happened in China? China keeps 100% track and tabs of what you do on social media. So people say, that's China. That can't happen in a democracy. Well, it's happening in a democracy right now.
A radical plan to crack down on social media abuse is being considered by the federal government. For more, Nine's Oliver Haig joins us live in Adelaide. Ollie, how will it work?
Layla, good morning. Essentially, it will work the same as a passport. Australians forced to submit 100 points of identification, like their driver's license or passport, when using social media accounts like Facebook and Twitter. Now, police would have access to those social media accounts. And
police will have access to your social media account. Let's go.
It's all part of a crackdown on online abuse. Now, users could be liable for defamation suits or even criminal prosecution. And it's all part of a plan hoping to deter people from engaging in bad behavior. Now,
what is bad behavior? See, I want you guys to see how quickly he transitioned from bad behavior to something else. What is bad behavior? Listen.
In bad behavior. Now, the recommend.
He didn't explain what that was. What do you guys think that is? You know what? You want to know what bad behavior is? Y'all sitting here listening to what I'm talking about? Y'all going on Clubhouse, sitting in them rooms, listening to what we be talking about? Y'all going on YouTube and searching up Israelite videos and watching them? You brothers that be teaching on the highways and the byways, what you posting on Facebook, that's all bad behavior. Didn't explain it, but understand by them not explaining it, they're explaining it. Because they get to decide what bad behavior is. It's subjective. They can just make it up. Hope you guys understand. The dystopian future is not imagined. It's already here. It's already here. You become dehumanized when they start telling you what you can look at and what you can't look at. And they start telling you what bad behavior is. And it's subjective. It's up to them to decide what it is. It's already here.
Recommendations were handed down by a federal parliamentary inquiry. They're reforms that are being considered by the Morrison government, with the chairman saying there is merit to remove the veil of being anonymous. Layla?
They want to remove the veil of being anonymous, meaning like some people, there are some brothers and sisters that you go online and you say things, right? Even if it's, let's just talk, I'm not talking about people that go online and say messed up things, that people that go online and say lies. I'm talking about people that go online and say truths, but let's just say you might have a job where you don't really want your identity to be revealed. So your online presence is anonymous. You know, you make a YouTube page and come up with like a crazy name that doesn't really point back to you, or you have a Facebook page or Instagram page that doesn't really point back to you. You're anonymous. They want to get rid of that. They want to know who's saying what. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give all these different identifications, 100 points of identification in Australia to be able to use these social media platforms so they can monitor what you're saying. Where do you think that stuff is heading? It's heading towards where China is, where they can actually put that on your credit score, so forth and so on, right? That's where they want to go with this stuff. It's evil. Let's listen to this in the Australian Parliament real quick. Right, listen to this.
Senator Roberts.
Thank you. Life is about to change for every Australian. As much as Senator Gallagher seeks to downplay the significance of introducing one central digital identifier for each and every Australian, the reality is this is the most significant legislation I've seen in my time in the Senate. It's the glue that holds together the digital control agenda by which every Australian will be controlled, corralled, exploited, and then gagged.
And controlled, corralled, exploited, and gagged.
The digital control agenda by which every Australian will be controlled, corralled, exploited, and then gagged when they speak or act in opposition. This bill will be misused because this bill is written to be misused. The government knows digital ID will be compulsory by the device of preventing access to government services, banking services, air travel, and major purchases for any.
That went over your head. Okay, we got to go back and catch that. So if you are, let's go back. Let's go back. Listen again.
The government knows digital ID will be compulsory by the device of preventing access to government services.
So government services will be denied to you, just like in China, if they don't like what you're saying.
Banking services.
Banking services, your money can be denied to you in a digital ID system if they don't like what you're saying.
Air travel.
You can't fly if they don't like what you're saying. It's not dystopian. It's not fake, because we just saw that that's already happening in China. And now they're arguing about it in the Australian Parliament, saying, y'all trying to bring that here. It's already here.
And major purchases.
And major purchases, things that you buy, can be controlled if everything goes digital, because they'll have control and not you. They can watch what you do. And if they don't like it, you can't fly, you can't bank, you can't purchase.
For any Australian who does not have a digital ID, the digital ID will in effect create a live data file.
So also, you're going to have some people that's going to opt out, like, well, you know what? I know what that is. I don't want it. Well, if you don't want it, if you don't get it, you still can't bank. You still can't fly. You still can't purchase nothing. Does that sound like Bible to y'all? That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. We'll get there soon. It sounds familiar.
Does not have a digital ID. The digital ID will in effect create a live data file of your movements, purchases, accounts, and associates, containing reference to every piece of data being held in the private and government sector.
That's what's in China. I told y'all, people think it's just China. No. Australia, Europe, Canada, America, for sure. So what you're seeing in China is important. You need to watch that. And you'll never see this on the mainstream news. This is how they're going to freeze. One of the ways they're going to freeze those of us that's in the truth. This is one of the ways they're going to freeze us out. And this is when we as Israelites, in this truth, are going to have to make that choice. The Bible is very clear about those that opt into the system. It's very clear what's going to happen to you. You're going to be destroyed. If I opt into the system, I'm going to be destroyed. So the time of choice is coming. That's why I always tell brothers and sisters, we need to build ourselves up in our faith. And also there are certain things. That's why Zephaniah 2:1 speaks about gathering ourselves together. All this division is, I'm just going to, sorry, children, all this bullshit in Israel with all this division and all this stuff is crazy to me. When this is being planned, and it's going to affect all of us in all camps. We need to be coming together to figure out in this system, for those of us that opt out, how are we going to function? What are we going to do? These are the conversations that need to happen within camps, amongst the bodies that are together within a camp, an organization. And these are also conversations that should happen intra-camp between, let's just say that you're Lions of Israel, but you are in a city where you might be the only person or only a couple of y'all, but there's another camp that has a bigger presence, right? But you know that you're good with them because you're LOI with, and our camp said, we're cool. Like, these are the conversations that are supposed to be happening because it's coming. It's already here and it's coming down the pipe. And it's every day the system is getting more advanced and it's definitely going to be implemented and utilized. This is the conversation we need to be having. And this Edomite, this devil, because understand something. This is going to affect Edomites too in every other nation as well. So these Edomites in this damn parliament, they see what's coming. They're not sounding the alarm, worried about us. It's not about us. They're worried about themselves because the elites of their own society don't give a damn about them either. We're just using information to show y'all that, yeah, it's coming.
God, hey,
you want to see something out there? Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring something out in the scripture. What you said was you said this before, but it's a good point to bring back up. You remember, I want to say during the scamdemic when it was popping off, the truckers who bring food in and out through Canada and America, they band together because they was anti the jab. You remember that?
Gone, yeah, of course.
And the Canadian government shut down their bank accounts.
Yep.
So that's just to show you that digital ID, it's here in some way, shape, or form, right? It's already here. They might not call it the digital ID, but they know through your banking system that they could get you, right? And what the priest said about you being in a congregation, that's good. You have to be in a congregation. Individualites, they're going to fall to the wayside because they won't have nobody to, congregate with. But at the same time, you have to check yourself, like it says in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. It says to examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith, because your faith will be tested when the enemy's knocking at your door, right? It says, prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahushua Christ is in you, except you be reprobates. How you going to know if Yahushua is in you? You got to be faithful unto death. That's what Yahushua did. He was faithful unto death. Now, are we saying that when the time comes, we're all going to be gung-ho, right? Like we Captain America, like we super Israelites? Nah, because nobody knows but the Most High and your spirit when the time of proving comes. But it's good to start getting in that spirit and examine yourselves and know, hey, what are we going to do if there's no food? Because like the priest said, if you take that mark or if you enroll into that system, the end there, which is death, your soul is, you're going to be taken out once you choose to follow the image of the beast, right? So now you got to look at yourself, look at your family, and examine yourselves and say, okay, we're going to take a stand. Our faith is in Yahweh Shai. What are we going to do? So these lessons that the priest is bringing out is very educational, but you got to examine yourselves and you got to make that decision now. Don't wait till the flood come. Don't wait till the persecution come before you start thinking, well, what am I going to do? Do it now. Make a resolve now. I just wanted to bring that out, priest.
Kind of all praises, all praises. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to do something real quick before we continue. I already see that we're not. I'm definitely not. Wait, let's see how many slides I got. Me, yes. No, I don't think I'm gonna get through everything, but that's okay. That's all right. That's all right. So I'll move on for now and I'll come back because what Zahab said something really powerful that I'm adding to. See, sometimes it's good to have these conversations because he said something that's really powerful that I'm actually adding to the PowerPoint because it's something I missed. But anyway, let me go ahead and share my screen again. And we'll come back to it later. Okay, yeah, let's come back to it later. All right, so I guess the question everybody wants to ask is, can it happen here or will it happen here? That's the question that we want to know, right? So the answer is yes. Listen.
And I think we should move towards a digital ID. It's something that the banking industry is actually working towards today with a product called Authentify, where once you authenticate yourself with one bank, we can share that ID in any other service that you might want to use electronically.
So this is somebody from the banking industry that's testifying before Congress that says, we, the banks, are using a system called Authentify as a form of digital ID, the same thing the Chinese were using, the same thing that the Australians are using. He's like, man, we should follow the banks and bring that here. So yes, it can happen here. Yeah, it can.
And I think
let's listen real quick to this.
I would encourage all of you who feel that it's your right to convenience to reconsider.
Did you guys catch what he said? Because I want you guys to understand that a lot of times when technology is introduced to us, it's introduced as something that's a form of convenience. I need for you guys to really understand that. But that's in the beta test of the technology, but there's always something more sinister at the end of it that they don't tell you. But most people are just locked into the convenience of technology, not understanding what the technology can actually do that's detrimental to people. Listen.
All of you who feel that it's your right to convenience to reconsider and rethink that particular life philosophy. I'll tell you why. Because digital identification is coming, Canada and America, whether you like it or not. And what they're going to tell you is it's very convenient that they'll have your gun license, driver's license, boat license, medical and health insurance, car insurance. Everything will be on one card. You don't want that much information on one card. Remember, we've all got the right to remain silent, and the average police officer in North America.
I got to stop it. I'm going to play it again. I apologize. But Chris, why you keep playing the videos over again? I got to stop because I got to set y'all up for what he's saying because he's talking fast and the clip is short. Let's set up a scenario. You get pulled over by a police officer for a traffic violation. Let's say you ran a stop sign, you ran a red light, you were driving 5-10 miles over the speed limit, you get pulled over by a police officer. If there's something called digital ID, remember that the original reason why you got pulled over was for a traffic violation. But with a digital ID, all of your information, your bank information, your car insurance information, your everything is on this one digital ID. Everything about you is on this digital ID. So that police officer, there's a lot of videos on TikTok where people get pulled over and they don't want to even give the police their ID. They're trying to get rid of that and come with a digital ID. Now, when that police officer pulls you over for a traffic violation, he's going to know whether you paid your car insurance, whether you was late for paying this, if you paid that, if you didn't pay this, if you did, he's going to know everything about you with this digital ID that you got because you thought it was convenient. You thought it was cute. No. It's going to snitch on you. It's going to tell on you. You might have got pulled over. You might have got pulled over for a daggone traffic violation, but there might be something else that you didn't do that has nothing to do with the traffic violation that's going to be on that digital ID that's going to cause you problems. It's going to tell on you. That's what he's trying to tell you.
I would encourage all of you who feel that it's your right to convenience to reconsider and rethink that particular life philosophy. I'll tell you why. Because digital identification is coming, Canada and America, whether you like it or not. And what they're going to tell you is it's very convenient that they'll have your gun license, driver's license, boat license, medical and health insurance, car insurance. Everything will be on one card. You don't want that much information.
You got pulled over for running a stop sign, and the cop is sitting there and they're telling you, why didn't you pay your car insurance? Why are you late? Y'all want that?
information on one card. Remember, we've all got the right to remain silent, and the average police officer.
You don't have the right to remain silent if everything is on a digital ID card, because he don't have to ask you, or she don't have to ask you no questions. There's no such thing. Do you guys understand the technology is circumventing? It's going around. Circumvent means to go around. The technology is going around your right to remain silent by all your information being on a digital ID now. He don't have to ask you no questions.
Right to remain silent, and the average police officer in North America has an intelligence quotient less than 90 and egos that are incredibly fragile. So now what you're going to do is have all this identification, all of this on one little card that some guy with body armor and a gun and the brains of a gnat going through it and finding things to prosecute you for simply because he has an ego issue, but at the same time because he has access to everything about you. You have to say no to this stuff and keep all your ID cards completely separate.
But do you guys understand where I'm going with this? Do you guys understand the track of the lesson today? I'm sure going all the way back to what I showed y'all with Kamala Harris and all these laws they understand that when people wake up to what we already know, they're going to bug out. What they thought was just conveniences of modern technology is really being built to control them and ultimately destroy them. When by the time the average person wakes up and wants to rebel, you're not going to be able to rebel against that system. We understand these things. We understand that's why we're going to need Yahweh Shai. But many of our people don't understand. And that's also why the Bible prophesies that there's going to be seditions. And the people are not going to hearken to the voice of a king or prince saying, don't rebel, because they're going to know we're going to rebel against you because these laws are BS. These technologies are BS. You presented them to us in the form of something that was being convenient, but it's destroying us. It's controlling us. And people are going to bug out. And this harkens back to Romans chapter 13, where Paul speaks about not obeying the powers that be. That chapter, maybe I have to do that next week. That chapter is not saying you got to obey the government. If the government tells you to take a damn shot, you got to take a shot. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about rising up in arms against the government, which is what the Israelites were doing in Rome. That's what they kept doing. Every time the Romans would come down with something, the Israelites would rebel. That's why you have a whole thing in history called the Jewish-Roman Wars. We were constantly rebelling against Rome. But the Most High raised Rome for our destruction, our punishment. Such as now, when people finally realize what's really going on, they're going to want to rebel. The Bible is warning us in Romans 13 that we should not involve ourselves with these seditions and these rebellions that are going to go on against the government when people wake up. We as Israelites are not supposed to be involved in that. Because you're being warned now, just like them so-called Jews and other people that were warned on 9/11 not to go to the building before it happened. You Israelites are being warned that there's going to be seditions. People are going to wake up to this stuff after a while and rebel. You're not supposed to be a part of that. Yahweh Shai is going to come and deliver us. That's it. You can defend yourself and your family and your property, so forth and so on. But all the seditions that are going on outside of that, you're not supposed to be involved in that at all. You know it's coming. Prepare yourself from now. Consider the ant. Anyway, let's move on.
So, priest, we shouldn't be on the footsteps of the Capitol like January 6th?
No January 6th Israelites. No January 6th Israelites. Nah, not at all. All right. So can it happen here? Look at it. Look at it.
The TSA is now accepting digital IDs from travelers in 9 states.
There's already digital IDs in 9 states, guys. It's already here.
Is now accepting digital IDs from travelers in 9 states. In order for the ID to be accepted at the TSA checkpoints, it has to be issued by one of these 9 states: California, New York, Georgia, Arizona, Maryland, Colorado, Louisiana, Iowa, and Utah. For more information on how to get the
Now, more on the dystopian future in film. They show you these things in film. How many of you guys remember Some of you guys might be too young, but I think most of you guys remember there was a film that came out June 17, 2002. Tom Cruise. Some of y'all sisters, before y'all came in the truth, y'all thought Tom Cruise was a hunk. Y'all said he was the sexiest man alive. And some of y'all sisters too. Y'all need to repent. Y'all sisters that thought, you need to repent. But anyway, this is from a film called Minority Report with Tom Cruise that came out in 2002. Let's look. Oh, by the way, this is retina scans. And they told you about this 22 years ago. And we thought it was just entertaining. Like, yeah, that's cool. This is not cool.
A road diverges in the desert. Lexus. The road you're on, John Anderton, is the one less
traveled. Are y'all peeping what's going on and stuff from the beginning? As this dude is walking through the damn mall, all the cameras, everything recognize him from his retina, from his eyes. And they have advertisements and everything specifically geared towards him. You guys ever notice that when you guys go on Google and go to a website and look at something, that when you click out that website, Google is sending you, or YouTube or whatever is sending you the exact thing you were looking at? You're getting all types of ads for that. You ever wonder what it is? Because it's already here. It's already here. Go look at some shoes on Foot Locker's website. Go look at some clothes on Nordstrom's website. Close it and watch what happens. You're going to get ads for that thing. And you thought it was just, it's a coincidence. No, they told you about this 22 years ago.
A road diverges in the desert. Lexus. The road you're on, John Anderton, is the one less traveled.
See, it's scanning his eyes. If y'all paying attention, see? It recognizes his eyes. It's a retina scan. So now it fast forwards in the movie. He didn't want the retina scan to recognize him, so he cut his eyes out and put somebody else's eyes in his eyes. Anyway, let's go.
Hello, Mr. Yakamoto. Welcome back to the Gap. How those assorted tank tops work out for you? Mr. Yakamoto. Hey, Miss Balfour, did you come back for another pair of those chamois lace-ups?
So that was entertaining, wasn't it? Y'all like that? That was entertaining. That's not real, right? Okay, well, here's dystopian future in real life. Pay attention. So you get pulled over by the police. They ask you for your ID. You give them your digital ID with the phone. Now he knows everything about you. Everything about you. Great. Wonderful. Go for a job. And you do the retina scan. That's Minority Report. That was 22 years ago. But it's here. Okay. And by the way, that's a bank. So she did her bank transaction with a retina scan. Okay. What's that word on the screen right there? What does everybody see? What's that word right there? Convenient. You guys see how they push it? You guys see how they market it? They market it as being convenient, but it's satanic and it's evil. But a lot of people are going to fall for it, for that one word. That's just that one word right there is why a lot of people are going to fall for it. And what we're telling you, because time is of the essence, I got to wind up shortly. What we're telling you, what Lines of Israel is telling you, what most teachers are telling you, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. It's not convenient. Of course, we live in a society, so sometimes we have to use the technologies that are available to us, but don't get so comfortable with the technology and think, well, it's convenient. No, you know that it's convenient for now, but in the future, it's going to be used against you. Don't fall asleep. And this is good because it's showing you this is being done. We had China, we had Australia, we had Canada, we had the US, and now we have India. It's all the same. It's all the same. Sri Lanka. Let's move on. All right. Now we're about to go down one of the biggest rabbit holes in the Israelite community. It's one of the biggest arguments in the Israelite community. Everybody knows what it is. This is one of the scriptures right here. This is Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 and 17. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save, except he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. This is one of the biggest arguments in the Israelite community. Am I right or wrong? You guys hear brothers arguing about this all the time. But before we get to the argument, first of all, we have to understand vocabulary. Again, vocabulary means everything. Sometimes I say to myself, I think brothers and sisters skip vocabulary class altogether, because there's all types of literary devices and different things in the Bible that I don't think people recognize. I need for everybody to understand the difference between these two words. The main difference between the word esoteric and exoteric. Some of you guys never heard of either or. Like, what is that? Well, it's accessibility and prevalence of knowledge practices. So first of all, let's read esoteric, the definition of esoteric. Esoteric is private, obscure, exclusive knowledge that is difficult to understand. I'll just leave it there. I'm going to read the whole thing. That's esoteric. And exoteric means knowledge that is widespread and accessible and shared among the general public. What I need for you brothers and sisters to understand is this scripture right here, Revelation 13, 16 and 17, has esoteric understanding and exoteric, meaning information that's being spread that everybody's aware of and everybody has seen. I need for you guys, I'm going to come out for a second. If you understand what I just said, I need for you to put one in the chat. I need for everybody, if you understood what I just said, I need to see one in the chat. If what I just said, just the last thing I just said about esoteric and exoteric doesn't make sense, put two. If what I said made sense, put one in the chat, please. I want to make sure you guys are with me. Oh, thank you, Yahshua. That's a damn shame. We got 177 people in here and only 68 likes. Y'all, no, I don't know if I'm gonna do a part 3 because my time is up. I don't know if I'm gonna do a part 3. I'm gonna come out in a minute and check my damn likes. If my likes are not where I like them, I'm not doing a part 3. Y'all can look into this yourself. Get them likes up, man. Stop playing with me. Get the likes up. Let's come back. Now I'm about to end the class momentarily. So you have esoteric or obscure understanding of certain things. And you have exoteric, meaning widespread, accessible, and shared knowledge about among the general public. I'm going to tell you guys that there is both an exoteric and an esoteric understanding of Revelations 13 and 16. I don't know why Israelites argue about it. There's literally thousands of videos online showing you that the white man is experimenting with putting chips in people, in their hands and in their brains via Elon Musk with Neuralink. There are thousands of videos. That is called exoteric. It's right there. It's being shared amongst the general public. It's on YouTube. It's on TikTok. I don't understand why people try to act like that don't exist. Literally in your hand and your head, just like Revelation says. Just like it says. But that doesn't mean that it's not also an esoteric, meaning an even deeper understanding that goes beyond the exoteric as well. You know, two things can be true at the same time. Well, unfortunately for y'all, my time has come to an end for this week. I don't know if I should do a part 3. First thing I need to do, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. First thing I need to do is come over to YouTube and look at my likes. Because I'm not feeling what my man Yasha War said is going on. Y'all need to fix that. Before I get over there. Before I come over there, y'all need to fix the likes. I see my man Phil Ben Israel said do a part 3. If they fix my likes, y'all better get on their neck in the chat. All right. So I still have some slides left in this particular presentation, as well as the first presentation I did for Winter is Here that will comprise part number 3, if it be the Most High's will. All right. So I'm going to stop it right there for now. I do have a couple of announcements. If y'all can stay with me, I know some of y'all have to jump over to the God First Gang room, but for those of you that don't, just stay with me for another minute or two. Let me just do a couple of announcements, and then I'll be right out your way. What in the French toast is going on here? Google is crazy. Okay. Y'all bear with me now. My computer's acting stupid. Okay. Let me share my screen real quick because time is of the essence. Okay. So guys, just changing the subject. We're done with the class for today. Changing the subject. I need for you guys. This is our website, thelionsofisrael.com. I'm sure some of you guys know. Maybe some of you guys are new here. You don't know. This is our website, thelionsofisrael.com. If you've been here the whole entire class, the Karagma movie, right, is actually here on our website. So you guys can come and watch the full entire movie right here. The short film, I should say, right here on the website. But I want to come to the tab that says more at the top, calendar, right? So guys, we're coming down to a very, very important time of the year for Israelites, right? A lot of holy days are coming up, right? So if you guys want to utilize our website, you come to our website, right? And you guys can see, you come to more, it says calendar. We're here at the calendar, and you guys can toggle between months. So we're in September right now. So you guys could see that right now in September is really just Sabbaths, and that's it going forward, right? But when we come to October, you guys can see Tuesday, October 1st is the beginning of the blowing of the trumpets, right? That's October 1st.
Sundown.
Sundown.
Yeah, it's always sundown when you see on our calendar. Click the link. It's sundown because the day starts in the evening.
Come. And then when you come to October 10th is the Day of Atonement. That's the day where we all fast for 24 hours. Everybody's familiar with that, right? And the following week on Tuesday, the 15th, is the Feast of Tabernacles, which we are having. Our Feast of Tabernacles, we already have the campsite and everything, so we're going to be out there as always. For more information, email us at joinloy149.com. It's going across at the bottom of the screen. If you've never been camping before, shame on you as an Israelite, especially if you've been in the truth more than, let's say, 5 years. Shame on you. You should go camping and get used to it, because you're going to be in the wilderness with your house shop if you make it out of here, and you better get used to it now. But the Feast of Tabernacles is coming up October 15th, and it ends October the 23rd. All right, so I just want to show you guys that. Let me stop sharing my screen for 1 second to show you guys one other thing, and then I'll allow Zahab to take us out of here. 1 second.
If you do plan on coming out for Tabernacles, it's a beautiful event, man. I would highly recommend it. We're going to have a big service the first day, like the scripture says, a holy convocation, and also on the 8th day.
Okay. Shout out to my brother Roy, the chef. Shout out to my brother Naviel, the servant. There's a big experience that's going on in LA in California for my West Coast Israelites. There's a big event going on the November the 9th. All right, you have to RSVP. There's the address right there. So if you are on the West Coast, if you're in the vicinity of LA, make sure you pull up to this music event. It's going to be a beautiful thing. I'm hearing a lot of big names are going to be there besides Roy the chef, besides Naviel the servant, aka Humble. I'm hearing a lot of other Israelites are going to be in the building. It's going to be a glorious event. So let's go out there and support our brothers for that. Priest Danielle has not been to California since 2020. So I would love to go. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'd love to go. We're going to see what's going to happen, see how the Most High move. And last but not least, before I turn it over to Elder Zahab, I just want to take a moment to thank everybody that's been, I guess I should share my screen one more time. I want to thank everybody that's been supporting us, right? So you guys see the Cash App on the screen that's going across, but also, let me come back to the homepage, right? When you come to this tab, it says more, and there's a tab that says donations. So we have several ways that you can actually donate to the camp if the Most High moves you to do that, right? You can do it via PayPal. You come to our website, thelionsofisrael.com, click on more donations. You can do it via PayPal. You can do it via Zelle, via Cash App. And I think we're one of the first camps, right, that you can actually donate to the camp via crypto as well, right? You have the thing right there that you just scan on your phone, and you can donate that way as well. I appreciate every brother and sister that has been donating to us. I don't give a damn if it's $1 or $50 or $100 that's been donating to us. It definitely helps us. It goes a long way. And if you're not able to donate financially, the ones of you that just come to the YouTube, drop a comment, encourage us, and let us know that we're going in the right direction and support us. I appreciate y'all. All right, so Elder Zahab, I'm gonna let you have the last word. I think I'm pretty much complete.
Khan, beautiful class today, King. I just wanted to add on to that. Next week, if it be the Lord will, I'm going to be premiering new music. I have a new album coming out, and the music that I'm going to premiere next week, it will be with our brother Humble, aka Naviel, right? He's having the concert coming up with Rohe, so it's only right that I match the energy, and I got music with him coming out. So be on the lookout for that next week, if it be the Lord will. And again, subscribe to our website, brothers and sisters, so that way you stay in the know, right? That's pretty much it for me, priest. Most High bless y'all. Y'all have a blessed Shabbat.
All right, brothers and sisters. So Most High we'll see you guys here next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, try to be on time. I'm going to do my best to do part 3 and get through the rest of what I did not get through today. All right. Most High will, unless something else comes up that's more important to teach, I'm going to do that next week. So guys, be on time. Spread the word. Tell people to go back and watch the first 2 videos on our YouTube, and That way they'll be right caught up with what we're going to talk about next week. All right. So with that being said, it's your brother Priest Daniela, Elder Zahab, representing Lions of Israel, Maccabees TV. If you are watching this video, you have not hit the like button. That's wicked as hell. Repent, believe the gospel.
I made this during the pandemic, y'all. To unleash the full power of the federal government through this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency. Let's go!
Father in the sky, I shed tears, I don't know why, but I'm a child of the Most High, so they can't break me if they try. Father in the sky, I shed tears, I don't know why, but I'm a child of the Most High, so they can't break me if they try.
The curses, the plagues, is it all a dream? Nope. The curfew, the troops, the world's on quarantine. Damn. The social, the 6 degrees of separation. The troubles of Jacob, the need for preparation. My vision is focused, I won't speed a rush. And if there's hate in your blood, then you need a flush. Yes, the priest is back, the Most High be praised. I'm making them sick, this song is 5G waves. As real as they come, won't find no fugazi. A man amongst men, so Gail and Oprah hate me. And Jesus had warrants. Paul wrote letters to Corinth. And Esau is red, and Donald Trump is orange. The faces, the gestures, that cat is so comedic. Corona, the virus, the plagues is sent on Egypt. We were slaves, led away to other gods. I ain't preaching shy, I'm killing them with current laws.
Father in the sky, I shed tears, I don't know why, but I'm a child of the Most High, so they can't break me if they try. Father in the sky, I shed tears, I don't know why, but I'm a child of the Most High, so they can't break me if they try.
The riches, the fame, is it all for Skrilla? The mask and the gloves so COVID doesn't kill you. The panic, the fear, the news is so fallacious. The Isley, the brothers, they say it's so contagious. The doctors, the nurses, the need for ventilators. The 1,200 cash they gave to stimulators. The signs and the warnings, don't forget the scriptures. Prevention and cure funded by special interests. Still in the streets, surely. Some say that he's worldly. Flow is sick like why Tekashi got released early. The judges, the lawyers, they say there's no defense. Season 8 Game of Thrones, cause it don't make no sense. And that's the rundown, TV is saturated. The fear is the push to get us vaccinated. We were slaves, led away to other gods. I ain't preaching shy, I'm killing them with current laws.
Father in the sky, I shed tears, I don't know why, but I'm a child of the Most High, so they can't break me if they try. Father in the sky, like I shed tears, I don't know why, but I'm a child of the Most High, so they can't break me if they try.